Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, hello, welcome. It is a great day. I'm glad you're here because anytime I upload a video, it is an incredible day. Today, believe it or not, we've got the first album review of the year today. Yes, I know, we're nearing the end of May, we're like halfway through the year, and just until now, I'm doing the first ever album review of the year. I know Fearless Taylor's version came out like a month ago, but I did say on Twitter I wasn't going to do album reviews on the recordings of her records because I've already heard them, so there really isn't any more input I can give into the records. I mean, they're good records, I love them, and there really isn't any more I can add on to it, so that's why I didn't do a review of Fearless Taylor's version. But today, we've got an album review of Olivia Rodrigo. Some people say it the other way. I say Rodrigo because I know how to speak Spanish. Her new record, Sour. Her first record, her debut album. So I've got an album review of Sour today. I listened to the whole record when it came out last night because I was actually really excited for it to come out. I was interested to see how this debut album was going to pan out, how it was going to turn out, what it was going to sound like. You know, it's exciting when a new artist comes into the industry and they bring something fresh to the table. So I've got a whole album review of the whole record, let you guys know my thoughts, my opinions, what I think about it, the overall rating, everything. You're gonna know everything in this record, in this video. So if you want to know everything, then keep on watching. Let's take it back. I feel like the popular kid in this video because I knew of her like way back when in the Disney days, not the High School Musical days, but like even before the High School Musical days. I knew of her back in the Bizarre Vark days. Yes, I knew of her back then. And also, can we just take this moment to reflect on the fact that Olivia Rodrigo, I don't know how to say it, but like, can we just take a moment to reflect on the fact that she was in a show, on a Disney Channel show with Jake Paul. Like, can we like picture that? Like Jake Paul with Olivia Rodrigo in a show, in a Disney Channel show together. Like it's like kind of shocking. It's kind of shocking and it's kind of crazy thinking about how times have changed and how people have evolved or devolved during these times. Anyways, I do want to start by talking about Driver's License, which was the first song that came out from this record. I'm gonna be completely honest. When I first heard the song, when it first came out, I actually didn't really like it that much. I didn't like it that much, and then as time went on, I heard it, you know, sporadically throughout time. It started to grow on me. It started to evolve in me. I started to like it a little bit more. Now I love it. Now I love the song. But when I first heard it, I was like, okay, it's like a new girl, okay, like we get it. And yeah, it's another teenager talking about love. And then as I kept hearing the song more and more and more, I was like, oh my god, the song is so beautiful, to the point where I now start crying every time I hear that song. But I want to talk about the success of Driver's License and also just her success in general throughout her first ever album cycle. Like, the success that she has had is unheard of. Like, that kind of success for an up-and-coming artist is unheard of these days. Like, you rarely ever hear of like a new artist coming into the industry. They release their first thing, it's a massive overnight success. They get so much acclaim, so much praise from, you know, fellow artists who have been in the industry for many years, and then they perform Saturday Night Live, they perform Jimmy Fallon, they perform so many other talk shows, they do so many interviews, they're on the cover of magazines. Like, it's unheard of to have so much success in such a short amount of time, and she's accomplished a lot of things within the span of 5 months, because I think Driver's License came out in January. Yeah, came out in January. So she's amassed so much in such a long time, in such a short amount of time, that it's safe to call her a household name by now, because obviously people know her from the song, then people know her from the TikToks, then people know her for her second song, Deja Vu. So that much success in such a short amount of time is unheard of, and it just goes to show the power of the internet, the power of social media, and just how little importance it is to, you know, have a record deal or, you know, navigate the industry in the traditional way now. Now let's talk about the record. So the record in itself is short but cohesive. There's 11 songs. It's 34 minutes. It's a pretty short record, you know. It isn't the kind of record you put for like those long trips from like LA to Vegas. You probably have to put it like 10 times in order to get from LA to Vegas. But it's a short record, but it's cohesive, and it's also precise, to the point. And what I love about this record, and just the thoughts I had while listening to this record, is before going into it, I thought it was going to be just a record about love and, you know, teenage love and finding love, like when you're like 16, 17, 18. But then listening to the record fully from its entirety, from Brutal to Hope You're Okay, I realized that this record is not just about love. It's about navigating through your teenage years. It's about self-discovery. It was a record about, you know, discovering who you are, navigating your teenage years, falling in love, getting your heart broken, and dealing with your first heartbreak, and dealing with the pressures of the world, and dealing with, you know, comparing yourself to other people, or is she better than me, or are they better than me because they have this, or is he better than me because he has that, or did I not do enough, did I do too much? You know, it's a beautiful self-discovery record. And while listening to this record, I was like, if this record would have come out when I was like in my teenage years, when I was like 16, 15, 17, I would have been all up in this record. I would have called it the best thing since sliced bread. I would have listened to it religiously every single day because it would have encapsulated what I was going through at that time. I'm a little bit older now, so I don't think I can call this record the best thing since sliced bread as I would have called it back then. And just listening to this record and listening to the lyrics and the melodies, I mean, there's obviously one very well-known melody in the song, 1 Steps Forward, 3 Steps Back, with the sample of New Year's Day from Taylor Swift. I mean, this record, overall, you know, you can tell how much of an influence Jack Antonoff, Taylor Swift, maybe even Lorde have had on her musical career, and how she writes music and how she creates music, because, you know, she does a good bridge. She learned from the best. From growing up on Taylor, she knows how to do a good bridge. Lyrically, it's beautiful work. It's really beautiful work lyrically. I think Olivia knows how to write a really good song. She knows how to write a really angsty and like aggressive song, and she also knows how to write a really soulful and beautiful ballad, and that versatility is what is going to gain her so much respect and so much admiration and so much love in the industry for so many years to come. And she knows how to do it flawlessly, and that's really impressive at her age. I think she's 18 and she's able to write these really incredible songs that, you know, are very relatable to teenage years, but still, you know, the craft and the artwork and the techniques that go into writing this record are from somebody who's had, from my perspective, they sound like from somebody who's had so many years experience writing music, and that's really impressive, and I am really impressed by that. A lot of the songs have a much more different structure than most traditional songs have, because the structure that not only I write music, but the structure of songs that I'm accustomed to and that I've grown up with is like, you know, verse, chorus, maybe pre-chorus, verse 2, maybe the pre-chorus again, the chorus, the bridge, the chorus. And then with a lot of these songs, there's different structures to it. It doesn't flow with this structure. There's different ways that she's writing music. There's different techniques she's using. There's different rhyming techniques she's also using, and it's very interesting. It's a very interesting short body of work. I think relativity is her strongest asset with this record, because obviously she's navigating her teenage years, and so many kids around the country and around the world are also navigating their teenage years, and to hear somebody, you know, voice very loudly the emotions that they feel as well, it just makes for a bigger record, and it makes for a much more impactful record. It makes for a much more relatable record. And you know, a lot of people like relativity. A lot of people like relativity. A lot of people want to connect with somebody on a deeper level by listening to their words and listening to what they're going through. And I think it's going to be a huge drive for the future of her career. I'm already thinking about the future because I can see her being like really big, even bigger than now. I can see her being one of the main pop girls. Like, I see her, you know, headlining the Super Bowl. I see her winning Grammys. I see her, you know, being known as, you know, one of the greats in songwriting, one of the greats in music. She has that potential. She has the potential to be an incredible artist. She has the potential to be a legendary artist, and I have not a doubt that she will be one. Some of the standout songs for me were Brutal, Driver's License, Happier, and Favorite Crime. I absolutely love Favorite Crime. I love it. I fell in love with it from the very last from the very first second to the very last second of the song. It's one of my favorite songs on the record. I love it. I think it's incredible, and the lyrics are so beautiful, and the melody is amazing. It's a masterpiece. That song in itself is a masterpiece. I give this record the overall rating of a 9.5 out of 10. The only criticism is I wish it were a little bit longer. You know, maybe a few songs, maybe like 5 more songs. Make it a 16-song record, and you know, I think there would have been so much more to talk about. But since it is pretty short, I like that it was short, but it also didn't drag on for long, because I've heard records before where they're like 30 minutes long, but it feels like an endless agony listening to the record, because it kind of sounds like I'm listening to the same song over and over and over again. That wasn't the case here. I felt like I was listening to a journey. I felt like I was going on a journey of self-discovery. It took me back to my teenage years, and I felt like I was, you know, like I got my heart broken for the first time, and I was experiencing heartbreak and comparing myself to other people. You know, she took me there. She took me to that point in time where I was at that age of self-discovery, where I was at that age of finding out what I was going to do and who I was going to be. And that's something that not a lot of people can do. Not a lot of people can transport somebody with their words, with their voice, with their melodies, with their musical production to a specific place and time. But she did that, and that's very impressive for her age, and that's also very impressive for a debut record. So I really like this record. I like this record. I think it's great. I think it's magnificent. I recommend, if you haven't heard it, you definitely hear it, because you will not regret it. And with that being said, I will end this album review here. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up, comment down below your thoughts and opinions on the record, and subscribe as well. I'd love to see you back here, and I will see you next time for another video. Goodbye.